It's time to make shift happen. Get ready to shift your perspective on life, people, and the world we live in. And here to help you do that are your shift chicks, Fran Holinda and Lisa A.
Hey shifters, it's Fran Holinda.
And it's Lisa A.
And it's time to make shift happen. Here we go. It's the end of February.
Could you believe this?
No, I can't.
Friday is March 1st.
Uh-oh. You know what that means?
God.
1 week to the birthday. It's my birthday.
When it's her birthday, it's her birthday.
It's my birthday.
All month.
My personal followers have been noticing all my Pisces posts.
Yes, we have.
They're pretty cool, though, I have to say.
They're amazing.
Pisces are just amazing.
Yeah.
What can I say?
Wait till the Taurus ones come out. Then you'll really be interested in those.
Well, you're full of bull.
The bull.
The bull.
The bull. Stick those horns right in your ass.
She has a rivet.
No, you're just like a floppy fish.
I'm two fish actually going in opposite directions. What's interesting to me, and I don't really read my horoscope. I haven't really researched a lot, to be honest with you. But so much of these traits that they post are so very true. You know, they're not sarcastic. They're really genuinely. I think a lot of them reflect on me.
You know that the funny part about it is that a lot of the posts that you've been doing. And I follow astrology. I mean, I don't worship it, but I do.
I find it
fun.
Too, I saw it.
I find it fun.
It is.
But you are so not a real Pisces.
Really?
No, you are like such a Leo.
Oh.
I would lose a lot of money trying to guess your astrology sign.
All right, you know what? Then you're gonna have to write down for me who you think, and I have to research those traits and see. I don't. Listen, I am a unique individual, so
you certainly are.
What can I say? I don't fall into any. When I had mentioned a while back when it was the Chinese New Year and it was the year of the pig,
right?
We talked about. So I am a rat, I believe.
And you know what I found that? Remember I kept saying I'm a boar?
Yes.
Well, guess what I am? I'm a pig.
Yeah.
Because when I went to look it up.
Well,
a boar and a pig are the same thing.
Well, I mean, it sounds better though. I would never call you a pig. I have called you a boar on occasion, but I would never.
Don't call me a pig.
Just call me a boar.
Yeah, just call me a boar.
Well, anyway, we are sailing through 2019, and it's kind of scary actually how fast it's going.
It's so free. I cannot believe it's going to be March on Friday.
I know,
and I haven't had one friggin' snowstorm,
and it's pissed off. Well, there's something I heard something. We're on the East Coast, so
it's just going to be a little.
Remind our listeners where we are. We are in New Jersey,
yeah.
So we've had some very strange weather. Supposedly something maybe Monday. And like I said to you this before, it's not that I'm anti-snow. It's just that when you have places to go and things to do, and people can't drive on dry pavement, the snow just makes it.
Well, that's because we live in Jersey.
Yeah, the snow just makes it a hassle, and it just makes it a danger. It's very difficult to enjoy.
I'm talking about one of those snowstorms where.
The world is paralyzed.
Yes, you don't even have to go out. Did you see that train coming from Seattle into California?
Amazing.
They had to stop because it was 4 feet of snow. They're out of food. They're out of water, and now I guess somebody's got to come rescue them.
You're going to start eating each other. You're going to start cannibalism at its finest.
Now I wouldn't want to be in something like that. But like in my own home,
scary.
Where I have a lot of food, and whatever, good company, good food.
It's nice for like a day or two, but then I think again, the world has to start moving. We do not allow ourselves enjoyment like that.
No,
it was unfortunate that when you were at your vacation when you went up to Lake George, right? Was it Lake George? Lake Placid, that you weren't able to enjoy your stay and you didn't get a chance. But that really that's the perfect place for it. And
absolutely.
That's where it belongs. So let it stay there, to be very honest with you. But I also will be the first person to say that I don't like the humid, disgusting, where you can't breathe. Our hair looks like a fur ball weather. It's not for me either. So I'm an in-between person. I like the 70s, nice, beautiful, 60s. A jacket at night or something. Yeah. I'm good with that.
Exactly. But I just New Jersey has really gotten on my nerves. I mean, we just go right from. I don't even know what you call these seasons. So there are no seasons. We don't have a fall.
No.
We don't have a spring.
No.
We didn't really have a winter. So either it's going to be an Armageddon summer, or it's going to be like I don't know what's going to happen. I really don't.
Well, she's coming in like a lion apparently because it's going to be cold. So
it's supposed to snow tomorrow night, but nothing significant,
right? Which is fine.
And then again, it snows and then it rains. It's like ridiculous.
Well, I'm happy about that because my snow shoveler moved to California, so this means my husband doesn't have to do it. We are snowblower less, and we are snow shoveler less, and the last couple of times we tried to hire people, this is the part that's very interesting to me. You know, so there's people that you think that they would want your business, right? You're willing to hire them either via contract so that you know that they're going to show up, or put us on your list and we're going to pay you when you're done, and they just disappear.
Nobody wants to work.
Nobody wants to work, but yet somehow they're in a business. I don't understand. Why does your truck say snow removal?
Do you like the comedian Sebastian?
I think he's very funny, actually.
Did you watch
on Netflix?
Yeah.
Yes.
Not which one did you watch?
The most recent one that's up there.
Okay. Did you watch the one affected? Everything affects me, or
I don't think so.
When he talks about it's hysterical because he's like, "What's going on in this country?" And he talks about how nobody wants to work, and he's like, he lives in California now.
Okay,
and he's like, I'm in LA. He said it's 8:30 in the morning, and there's 9,000 people at the courthouse going justice for Lindsay, and he's like, do these people not have a place to be at 8:30 in the morning on a Monday morning? I mean, it's just, I really don't find him like that funny, but when he comes up with stuff about that I can relate to, it's hysterical. Just like when he talks about. He said, what is it with these guys today? They got no balls. He goes, they have a man cave. Come on over to my man cave. I got my beer set up. I'm putting the game on. He goes, when I grew up, a man cave. He goes, the whole house, my father, the whole house was his man cave.
It's true. And the old Italian too.
Right?
It was he's old school Italian.
I remember my father calling me going, Lise. I'm like, what? And he'd be like, hand me the channel changer. I'm like, son of a bitch. I can't believe you made me walk all the way back in here to do that. Yeah, he would do stuff
and
like
you did
that.
it.
I did it, yes.
And you did it.
But I let him know how I felt, though.
Well, still, but you did it. Well,
I
have found, I'm glad that you kind of brought that up, because I am finding that, as I had told you guys last week, Randy and I had tickets to see John Mellencamp.
Oh, yeah. How'd that go?
This past Saturday. Well, interestingly enough, the concert was good. It wasn't spectacular. It was good. Our seats were okay. They weren't spectacular, but I will say they were in a balcony area that you could still see. Mm-hmm. And the good part was, it was just, I always picked to the side. So it was just two seats, the two of us, first row of that balcony.
Oh, that was good.
So nobody was in front of us. It was a nice big aisle. And nobody was climbing over us. And I will tell you that as much, and I will say this always, I love live music. I love live comedy. I love Broadway and shows. We had our thing at the Paper Mill was fabulous. But I cannot stand the people who attend.
That's the problem.
I have never seen, Randy and I were in utter amazement. Directly across from us, and one directly across from us, so we had, a middle, and then the aisle, the middle would be, right? A woman came with her son, and he was a young teen, I would say, with his cell phone.
Oh, you can.
And the theater has now darkened. The performer, and they ran which I really didn't like the opening of this concert. They ran like a movie, a kind of a John Mellencamp movie, if you will. And
really?
I think it took a little too much time. But anyway, the theater's dark because the show is essentially started.
Oh, so it wasn't a big arena.
It was at the State Theater of New
okay.
Brunswick. And this kid's he's on his cell phone, and he's scrolling, and he's doing all of the things on his cell phone, but the light is extremely bright,
no,
especially
really
in
is,
a darkened theater. And, you have a large screen phone,
right.
And it's like this big phone. And finally, some lady, now his mother's sitting right next to him. These tickets were not inexpensive. I would have smacked the kid.
The parents
Put
don't
your
care.
damn phone away. Finally,
they're afraid of them.
Well, finally, someone who was seated behind him, and it was obviously bothering me, and I was across from him. She finally yelled to put his phone down, and then another gentleman. So now, like I said, we had the big aisle, where people are coming up the stairs and stuff in front of us. So we were fine, but in front of us and to the side is another guy, an older person now. Same thing with the damn cell phone.
Really? Like what? You're going to a concert.
And
you can't just enjoy yourself?
And it's not even like he was trying to secretly record or anything, because there was nothing really to do at that point. I finally asked the usher who was by us at the station there. I just said, listen, would you mind? Because again, believe it or not, one cell phone can be so bright.
Of course it can.
Okay, so you had that. And you had to tell the guy twice, which I think is despicable. Okay. Then you have 1,000,001 people. The bar stayed open the entire concert, which I think might almost be a mistake.
Yeah.
Because
usually cut it off at some point.
So many people at every possible moment in the concert were moving. There were so much movement in this theater.
See, that's what I don't understand. Now, you're going to see a concert. First of all, why are you on your cell phone? Number one.
Yep.
Number two, I understand getting a drink,
Yeah, but how many do you need in 2 hours?
Exactly. I mean, you're going to see a concert. You're not going to a bar,
right?
To hang out and drink. So I don't get it. I mean, do your reading, have a couple glasses of booze before you come into the concert, like the good old days.
I mean, hide little bottles somewhere and buy one glass. But so you have people going to the bar. So of course, like as I said, we were fortunate nobody was coming in front of us, but there was a very tall person a few aisles ahead of us, and every single time he was at the end of his row, and every single time somebody in his row got up, he had to stand up. God. And son of a gun, if it wasn't like right in my view. So this whole story is all about the idea that as much as I enjoy being live, to be able to watch Sebastian, to be able to see Bruce, to be able to watch Ellen, to be able to watch all of these people who are charging enormous amounts of money to see them live, to be able to sit in my house and get better than front row seats, because even in the front row, you could like see the nose hairs on these people. You're so close.
Yes,
it's the best view in the house.
It's true, and you even saw. I mean, I stopped going to the Giant games for other reasons, but I was even getting sick and tired of that because it was like, for what reason? You're not getting beer spilt on you. You're getting shoved.
People are assholes. They say things. They talk to you.
Stay home.
We parked in one of the parking decks, which is what you have to do in New Brunswick. Yeah. And when you get there, you do the best that you can. Well, top floor means last one's out, like exactly, kind of thing. And so you're patiently waiting in line. And a lot of people, they actually ask you to pay before you go get your car. So you take your ticket with you, you pay, and then you go get your car, and then you obviously drive right out, scan it, and go right out. But because the line was so long, they were saying, just go to your cars, we'll pay on the way out. So we did that. So we go to this elevator, and I'm walking. I was not pushing. I wasn't shoving. Randy and I were together, and then the next thing I know, we were separated, and then the next thing I know, we were together. And this little short woman with a very large mouth that matched her width turns to whoever she's talking to. I'm standing right there, and she says, well, this lady is obviously in a hurry, so I'm just going to get out of her way.
Meaning
me.
You? Okay.
And my husband looks at her, and he is not, and he goes, why don't you shut up?
Oh, really?
And she kept referring to, and of course she's ignoring, and then we're in the elevator, and she's like, oh, I better move back because she's going to be in such a hurry. And I'm like,
wait a second. Really?
Yes. She's referring to me. I had nothing to do with this woman. And then at one point in time, she says,
why didn't you just step on her?
Well, believe me. Let me tell you something. The only reason I don't do certain things is because I don't want to go to jail.
Exactly.
I wouldn't do well in jail. I
Otherwise.
don't look good in orange. I don't like jumpsuits in general. And I really don't think I want to be anybody's bitch. Okay. Exactly. But other than that, I wanted to slap, like this was going on the whole elevator ride. And then when the door opened,
had a lot of bull. I mean,
she had a
set of cojones.
And the thing was that I don't even think that anybody in the elevator who, first of all, nobody cared, but anybody listening to this would be like, shut up already. Like, you made your freaking point, okay? And then as we're getting ready to get out of the elevator, she makes one more comment, something to the effect
she's still going.
That I didn't say this, that she's too fat and too slow. And I'm going, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
She said that.
And the whole time I'm talking to myself, walking to the car, and Randy's like, I'm like, that freaking piece of shit. I was like so furious. Like, what makes you think? And the thing is that if I retaliate, somehow I become the problem.
Of course.
What makes you think in this day and age, this is just typical of people, that you can just start saying stuff to people?
You can't. And you bring up this day and age. It's like you're in a very small confined space, an elevator. Okay, where do you get the balls to start talking to me like that? I mean, like, we're in a very small place. Like, at any moment you could have just, like, you don't know what people are capable of today.
Exactly.
Like, you need to keep your mouth shut.
Exactly. You do. And it just got to be ridiculous. I mean, if you felt that I cut you off in some way, shape, or form, which again, if I did, I was so unaware of it, to be really honest with you.
Right.
But let it go. Let it go.
Yeah.
Gee, I wish I had Frozen playing, but So the bottom line is what's happening more and more. As much as and last time you and I went to the movies, and we had such a lovely time. We have such a good time when we go to the movies together. But I have to tell you that I
Yes.
We haven't done it in a while.
Haven't seen any
And one of the
movies.
reasons is because, well, first of all, timing of certain
Right.
things for us, but also because the people are so damn creepy.
They
Do you remember the last time the guy that sat next to me, this guy sat next to me in the theater
with the wrapper,
and he had a
going on.
bag. He
A
had
bag
like
of
this
something.
brown bag. And
That
it was,
was
I was a
creepy.
nervous wreck the entire time. I was positive there was like a gun in the bag or something. And when we first sat down, he said hello. And I'm like, I better say hello.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to touch the armrest or disturb him with my popcorn. I could not
And
concentrate.
that's funny because seats were picked out, and he obviously, I think we got our tickets before him.
I don't remember. No, he was there when we sat
Was
down.
he there before him?
And
Why did we pick those seats then?
I think that because there was like hardly anything left. If you remember, we
okay,
were
cool.
closer than we didn't, than we wanted to be or whatever.
right.
Because we should have bought them online long before but we weren't 100% sure we were going to want to go.
Right.
So we didn't do
I think
that.
I'm remembering that now.
Yeah, but-
because I was thinking, why did he pick a seat where the two of us were sitting? That would have been
wouldn't
creepier.
you? No, I'm
Absolutely.
pretty sure he was there first because I remember seeing the bag and just the whole time, and like every once in a while the bag would move, and I'm like, oh my god, he's going to shoot somebody, and I was just so uncomfortable. But the bottom line is that
It's the movie killer.
You don't know anymore. If you look at somebody cross-eyed, do you see these things that are going on in New York? You watch the news and you see these people are just randomly punching people and stabbing people.
Just walk up to people and
that
punch them in the face.
horrible story that has made headlines all over the country of the father, right? Did you see that with his wife? Okay, so they have 6 kids. She's pregnant with number
Oh, yes.
7. Apparently,
That was
some
horrible.
guy was
Oh, my
blowing
God.
smoke in the direction of his children. He asked the guy to stop. The guy, this insane animal takes his car and rams it into
That was
this
just
family, and
awful.
then backs up and does it again. She
No,
throws.
people are not right today. You cannot play with people.
She's
today.
dead. She threw herself in front of the car to protect her 1-year-old in
Mm-hmm.
the stroller. She was pregnant. She's dead. You've got 6 kids and with
Awful.
a husband.
Absolutely awful.
No mother. Because you that's what I'm saying to you. And yet how many places do you go? You're walking in and I realize that this is their area to smoke. But sometimes they creep on over.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to smell like your smoke when I walk into the building.
Not at all.
But God, don't say anything.
And I can get very bad road rage, and I've been trying to control it lately because, did you see just like last week the guy get out of the car and just smash the woman's car to death with the bat?
What the hell?
I'm not afraid, but like I got to put up with that nonsense afterward. I have to worry about getting the car fixed. And all.
No.
It's like you can't have just good old regular road rage like we normally have. You have to
Beep the
smash
horn,
somebody-
give somebody the finger,
Yeah,
and then
curse
go on,
me out,
and then
you
go
know.
on your merry way.
Exactly.
No, I agree with you, but
they're getting out of the cars now and like hurting people. It's
I
crazy.
just think that we've crossed a line of civility, and as much as I like to be out and about, and we're social. The shift chicks like to see people and be involved and be out there, but it's just not as much fun anymore. You go to a restaurant and there's always some dickhead with this big, deep, loud voice who's gonna take over the restaurant, and he's gonna talk about
Always.
and my husband and I are sitting there, we're trying to have a conversation, and I can't even hear him across the table because Joe Schmo wants to talk,
He's alone in the restaurant.
how do you do that? And we've talked about this so many times. At what point is your right to have a good time? Like even at this concert, okay? So Mellencamp's not exactly like, rock star, but Jack and Diane, I Hurt So Good. There's a couple songs they definitely
Right.
want to, get you moving and stuff like that. And, somebody invariably wants to stand up and dance. And you know what? It is your right, but then sit down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Afterward.
Because now what
Can't
are you going
stand
to do
the whole time.
You're not going to. This is not like a stadium concert. He doesn't. It's not that kind of venue. But it's just like, I don't know. I just
See, the concert I'm going to on June 22nd will be very subdued. She'll walk in the audience. We won't have to stand up to see her.
Let me guess.
The boss is coming to Radio City Music Hall.
Did you get your tickets?
Absolutely.
Atta girl.
You got to get at the hookup,
Atta girl.
No, but even with her, people do stand. But
Yeah,
you
but
know,
that's understandable, and I think a lot of people will stand, and I think the audience and collectively will stand. And as there's always a song, usually towards the end, where they want the audience
Yeah.
to
Want you
participate
to
and
get
stand. Look at what happened when we went to go see my very own British Invasion. At the end, we all stood up. We
Yeah.
sang songs. The cast was singing. They encouraged everybody to participate.
They wanted you to get up, yeah.
And that's a fabulous. Mamma Mia is the same way. They get you
oh,
up. They
God.
get you on
I
your
stood
feet.
up the whole time during Mamma Mia.
Well, I'm sure
I
the
think
people
whole
behind
theater
you
did.
really liked you then.
No, I think the whole theater actually did. That was first of all, I did not want to go see that. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I loved it.
Yeah.
I really did.
Fabulous.
And speaking of my very own British Invasion. It's done on Sunday already. Can you believe this?
That was fast.
Yeah.
Not for the cast, I'm sure, though. I don't know how they do. We've talked about this too, also, how
10
how
hours a
people
day.
can get themselves in that character saying the same lines over and over. Talk show is difficult, but it's
I don't think I could do the same thing.
I couldn't be that character every single day.
That would get on my last nerve.
Yeah.
Well, some of these
we're not
Broadway
actors.
shows, can you imagine 7 days a week, every day for like months.
Which I think is why a lot of them are limited engagements for this, even for the superstars. They come through, they do their thing
you
for a
can't
while.
possibly want to do that every night of your life.
What happens when you genuinely feel like crap? You wake up and
you
you just
really don't
not,
wanna
you
do
just,
it tonight.
I mean, we could say it. We feel like crap today. But when they're on stage, they gotta, hello, Dolly.
Right. You gotta be there. You gotta perform.
and you gotta dance and sing.
Put all
and-
those costumes on.
And suppose you really can't stand. I always thought about this too. Like in this particular case, which I also thought was very cool. We're going to talk about the Oscars, and we're going to talk about Rami Malek and his leading lady, which he apparently.
Yes, I didn't know that.
Yeah, apparently
They
they are
hooked it up.
a thing, which is awesome. But what happens like when you have cast members, especially like you say, it's the leading man, they really can't stand each other.
That must be awful.
that must be torture.
happens-
That's acting.
That happens a lot. When I used to work on soap operas, a lot of people could not stand people they had to like kiss and
Schmooze with.
get in bed with, and everything. There's a lot of that going on.
Well, you know what? This is a good segue. Mm-hmm. I wanted to bring this up. We'll talk about the Oscars, and I want to definitely get your opinion. And I've made mine very clear that I am so anti-award shows, but I got to tell you, this chick has given it 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, it wasn't. And
It was
I gotta tell
wonderful,
you,
actually.
I did not miss having a host.
You know what? This is the best. They just saved themselves a lot of
Yeah.
money, though they are speaking about which it's a duo for 2020. I can't remember who it's supposed to be now that they're talking about, but I don't really see any point because it went off basically without a hitch. I thought that Maya Rudolph,
Oh, they were hysterical.
Tina Fey, and Amy Poehler were hysterical.
That was a great bit.
That
they did.
was so awesome.
The three of them were hysterical together.
They
You
really
can't
are.
take that away from
No,
them.
they really are. But I want to specifically talk for a moment about Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga. Gaga. Because I have to say, all right, and I've had different opinions about this, that people are saying, look, it was just acting. It was acting in the movie, and, they really wanted to do a stellar performance. So, this chemistry stuff and all this coziness. But I thought it was uncomfortable.
Well, social media blew up. After
I know.
that performance.
That's why we're talking about
It was
it.
like people were saying things that were really disgusting, like on there. But you know what? She's obviously an actress. He's obviously an actor.
But she also is single now, and I'm wondering. I have to be honest and tell you, I don't know.
She put out a tweet today that said, he's my true friend, and I loved working with him. I think she's trying to cover up the rumors. Now there is another rumor out that she may be pregnant.
Gaga?
The guy, yes. So that can add an interesting twist into this whole thing.
Well, she was engaged up until a week or two
but if
ago.
they're saying that she's so cozy with Bradley.
Well, first of all, let me just say, I watched, I think it was Access Hollywood, where one of their guests was on, and they were talking a little bit about this. And I really liked her point of view. She thought that, first of all, she thought it was a bit disrespectful for all of the talk shows and all of the people to be talking about Gaga and Bradley Cooper as if they were a couple, almost wishing them to be a couple.
people are wishing them. They're like,
But
come on,
he's
come out
got
with it
he's
already.
got this
I know.
beautiful woman. Is she pregnant, or they already have a child?
They have
together?
a 1.5-year-old.
Okay, but they don't have another one on the way, right? Okay. I know that they're not married, which I'm going to tell you right now. I will never ever understand this. And let me say it like this. I don't think you should get married because someone gets pregnant.
No,
But if you're going to continue to have children together and raise children together, or there's no bigger commitment than a kid. You're for life.
You're stuck together for life.
For life,
Yeah.
you have some connection, no matter how distant you might keep it. You are always connected through this child's life, and as the child grows, and there are occasions in their lives, you're there. Like,
have
what are
to
you
be
gonna?
there.
You,
Yeah.
you have to be part of their family, like Thanksgivings and Christmases, and regardless. And I just think it's. I just don't understand why people continue to do this, especially in this day and age. Whose last name does the baby have? His, hers? Is it a hyphenated
I don't even
name?
know. Probably hyphenated. At
but
this point of the game.
I just think, and I know he kissed her like after he kissed his girlfriend after the performance, and she hugged Lady Gaga, and maybe they're all in on this. Look, we're just going to play this up because it's good for the movie.
It's good publicity,
and it may. And you've talked about this.
Oh, yeah.
You know that you've said
all the
before
time.
that people set things in motion, good and bad, right?
Well, there was another tweet today. Somebody put up a picture of his girlfriend and said the Academy Award goes to her for acting so well because she really knows what's going on. It's a little distant. I mean, leave people alone. I mean, just leave them alone. I really think that they're just trying to play off the chemistry that they had in the movie, which was good. It was good chemistry in the movie, and they really have become really good soulmate friends. I mean, nobody said a word when she was hanging out with Tony Bennett 24/7.
Yeah, right.
I mean, she was literally, she was very intimate with him. I mean, I don't mean sexually
I know what
intimate,
you mean.
but nobody said a word. Why? Because he's an old man. He's not good looking.
Well, he's also not with anybody that we know of, right?
No.
And doesn't have a young child with,
Exactly.
You know what? I think the bottom line is we're talking about it, so we're giving it feet as well.
It's
and giving
exactly
it legs.
what they want.
But
and don't forget, the movie is, now like a big re-release again.
Yeah.
So everybody wants to go see, if you didn't see Stars Born, you're going to see it now.
maybe.
So.
And obviously it makes the song, that the I happen to really like the
song.
so I was really happy
love
for her
the
that
song.
she won the song.
Yeah.
But I just think that there's, I don't know. It's hard to imagine in this day and age that when you behave like that, you're not going to have social media blow up. To be honest with you, and
I mean, they didn't even need an introduction. I mean, they just got up and walked up on the stage.
And that was wonderful. I really liked the way that they handled it. I liked the way
cool.
they got up out of the audience, that the piano got pushed, they came up, they did their thing, they walked back down. Did they have to go hand in hand as well? I don't know.
And the way he took away the mic stand and went over and sat down, it was like so dramatic.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, the singing in the beginning, the looking into each other's eyes. I mean, all of that was enough.
He's got those piercing blue eyes.
He's gorgeous.
It's like, holy
all
cow.
of that was enough. But then to go next to her, cheek to cheek, eyes are closed. I just. You know what?
Did you hear
I just kind of kept waiting for people to kiss.
I know.
Like, kiss her, kiss
I
her.
thought they were going to kiss.
Yeah, but his girlfriend's right there.
But I thought they were going to just like. Give each other.
Thank
but,
God.
Tiffany Haddish,
What'd she
they
say?
interviewed her. She's hysterical. She was like, I was confused. Were they doing it?
Yeah.
Were they doing it?
Well, it certainly doesn't. Listen, we don't perpetuate rumors. I mean, I don't like that. But I think that when you behave like that, you really invite them in. It's almost impossible. And then again,
and I think
she has
she
has her breakup with her. You have to wonder, and I don't know. Her quote is turned into a meme, 1,000 memes. Her acceptance speech, I should say.
It's all over.
Very, very interesting to me. The boyfriend that told her that she was going to amount to nothing. I love what she said back. You're not going to be able to get a fucking cup of coffee without hearing my name. I love it, and she's so right.
And did you see Madge's tweet today? They made up her and Madonna at the Academy Awards.
I didn't see the tweet. I just saw the picture.
The tweet said, "Don't mess with Italian girls."
There you go.
Plain and simple. ...
And once again, I don't even know. I didn't follow it. I don't care. Was it? If it was real, what was the gist of it? What was the problem?
Well, Madonna always had this feeling that she was trying to emulate her,
which is a compliment,
right? I mean, exactly. And she was her idol. I mean, she loved her. But in a few interviews, she used some of the same exact language that Madonna did. But again, if you're growing up watching somebody that you love and want to be like, you're going to probably take some of the words. I don't think she did it on purpose, like she was trying to steal her thunder.
Right.
So all's good. All's good in Madge and Gaga's world.
Oh,
and,
thank God. I didn't know I was going to sleep
Yeah,
tonight.
they took the picture together, laying down with the Oscar in between them.
It was cute.
Yeah.
No, it was cute.
Adorable.
You know what? I don't have time for any of it. But okay, so overall, though, the Oscars, we're going to give 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I watched and I enjoyed it. The opening, with Queen. I have to say, Adam Lambert, I was a little disappointed.
Dead gorgeous, though. I'm sorry.
But I was a little disappointed. I don't know if he was trying too hard.
Yeah.
But he almost overdid it. I don't know if he was really trying to. He sounded like he was screaming at one point.
I mean, they tour, so
Yeah.
he's been given accolades like crazy. So
my God,
I do. I think maybe he was trying to be a little theatrical more than normal. But I still think he's awesome, and I was happy.
Yeah,
we saw that movie, so we get it.
I was just a little. I thought the performance was going to be a lot more powerful.
Yeah,
I really did. There was a few disappointing things, and there was a few things I really liked. I got to be honest with you, as far as fashion's concerned, I wouldn't give you 2 cents for anything that anybody wore.
Oh, I think Lady Gaga's dress was stunning. It was a real homage to
it was
Audrey
a
Hepburn.
Typical, yeah, it was a typical Oscar
Well,
dress.
she had the gloves. She
but
had
I'm talking about in
necklace.
general.
Oh.
I mean, like, who the hell stood out to you?
Jennifer Lopez.
Well, she looked like a disco ball. All I kept seeing was myself in creations and night and thing, whatever, and spinning around. Glenn Close.
I was wondering if she sat down, if they would start cracking.
Right.
Like, you'd hear breaking glass.
It took
like if you break Jennifer Lopez, do you get bad luck?
I mean, the dress.
How many years bad luck do you get?
The dress she wore at the after party was so nice.
Yeah, and a little more.
I loved Melissa McCarthy and her husband. They just put the
tracksuits
on. That was the
on.
best. That would be me after the Oscars.
Yeah, the whole Glenn Close thing. So Olivia Colman, we didn't see The Favorite, but do you remember my telling you about that really weird show, Something Flowers, on Netflix? And I was telling you that she paid they're like batshit crazy family. And she's the mother, and I didn't know who she was. And then The Favorite came out, and I was like, oh my god, that's the mother.
Upset.
So now I think that. But
nobody saw that coming.
But isn't she wonderful? Didn't you love her speech?
The
Like
speech
she was
great.
genuinely she was great. Glenn Close has the distinction now of being the most nominated and never won.
Right.
She's going to be a Susan Lucci, isn't she? She's
Probably. Somebody made a good point about the Academy Awards, because I kept saying to myself too, I'm like, where are all the celebrities? Every time they panned the audience, it looked like it was people from off the street. I mean, and then one person said, where's Meryl Streep? She only shows up when she's nominated.
Maybe.
I mean, there were really no huge celebrities there.
No,
other than the ones that were really just nominated came
or presenting.
Yeah, one or the other. I mean,
I don't know. You'd have to find out. Maybe she's off shooting somewhere. I mean, but let's
general,
not create rumors.
In general, where were all the celebrities?
Maybe they're over it too.
I guess so.
The only controversy, and I didn't really pay any attention to it. People had some issues with Spike Lee,
absolutely,
and his feeling. He made one comment though that I have to say I thought was very funny, and I didn't realize this, that his other movie lost to Driving Miss Daisy. Mm-hmm. So did you hear what he said? He basically got a comment about anytime there's a movie about driving, I lose. Like there was some kind of a funny comment to it.
When they were,
but apparently they said he was a sore loser. I guess
when they were interviewing him backstage, he wouldn't answer the questions, and he's like, "Let me take another sip of champagne."
Yeah, I did see that.
And I really, I had the pleasure of him actually giving me a really good break one time.
Oh.
I worked in the movie Crooklyn with him, and really got to know him very well over a period of about 3 months. And as a matter of fact, I was going to put the picture up today and say, congratulations, Spike. But he was a very different person, as we all are. He was genuinely a really, really nice guy. He went a little bit to the left for me, and then had to make that political remark, and, crybabying about never winning an Oscar. And, he finally did last night, but it wasn't for what he wanted.
Right.
But, I don't want to slam him, because I remember working with him, and he was a really, really cool guy. And I don't know if over the years he's just gotten bitter about what's going on. I mean, let's Do the Right Thing was not Oscar worthy, okay?
But it was obviously
Malcolm
nominated.
X, some of the other movies, yes, but certainly not Do the Right Thing. It was not an Oscar.
I don't even know about Driving Miss Daisy. I saw that movie years and years ago. I'm not so sure that that's Oscar worthy either. Jessica Tandy was like, you have to remember too, like when Leo DiCaprio got his award, I think it was not for a film. I happen to have seen that movie, and it was an amazing movie. I thought it was a little boring. Everybody was all, crazy over the bear attack scene and everything. I don't think that was his finest work, but I think it was almost like a pity Oscar. Like, it's about time we give it to him.
Exactly.
Nobody wants to really win that way. I don't like sore losers. I really don't. I don't have a problem with Spike Lee, to be honest with you, though. And I think ultimately he kind of made a
problem with him. I just, I can't, the Oscars were going so well. And then nobody was making any political
I know, and he had to be bleeped out, too.
Yeah, and then he had to just start. He just had to go, 2020's coming. It's just like, stop.
Somebody had to go and do it. But
and he had to be the one to go and do it.
And that's a shame, because what that does is
it just tainted more of him.
Exactly.
What people already feel now as it is.
Exactly. And actually, the movie that won, Green Book, which we probably will see now, really discusses the relationship between a black man,
Right.
a white man, the Deep South, some of the issues that were happening. There's a scene in
Well,
the
he's
movie.
actually the white guy is the really the racist one.
Well,
in
but
the movie.
right, but also like there, and he winds up defending this,
Right.
this doctor. I forget what his the name
Yeah,
of
the
the character
piano
is.
player.
But you talk about like there's a scene that they show that he refuses to play his music in a restaurant that won't allow him to eat there. So it did deal with
Yeah.
issues, and it did bring out injustice and so on. So I don't
Well, it's
think
all
that
about
I don't
the
think
civil rights
I don't
era.
think that Spike Lee should feel that like
Right, he should have been happy
that
that
issues
one
were
too.
ignored. I think that this was the other movie, and I was so happy to see Regina. I am such a fan of Regina King.
You know what? I have to say this. I never really liked her, but she is genuinely like an awesome person. I've never met her, but
You get the feeling that she's
yeah. I mean, now that like she's been coming to these award
Yeah.
shows and the way she's speaking, she's brought her mother. Thank
Yeah.
God. It was just like wow. She seems like a really cool person.
Yes, she does. And so for me, I'm happy that, of course, that I'm happy that the winners are grateful and feel blessed, and I'm happy that they're for the sake of things moving forward and progression. I'm pleased that there is diversity, but I'm more pleased that there's actually movies that are being made that deserve to be on that stage.
Sure.
Just because somebody's a certain color or a certain race, you shouldn't nominate their movie. You should nominate the movie
No.
because it deserves to be there. So I was happy to see that, and it definitely changed my opinion this year. I have to be honest and say.
And when people like Spike Lee, get all hot under the collar about this, I want to say to him, dude, it's your colleagues, it's your peers who are voting.
These are people who are voting.
Right, so like, don't look at the outside world and be so negative and be so grumpy about it. These people you work with, these are your people.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
No, it's true.
It's like you and I aren't voting
No.
on it, so it's like if you want to blame anybody, blame your friends in Hollywood.
Who didn't do I guess the right thing for him.
Do the right thing. No, they didn't.
You like that?
How
Huh?
you doing? So, what do you think about before you go to the next
Okay.
subject? Did you hear Gaga come out today? What she said?
No.
She said she believes that the Oscars should be gender friendly now,
What does that mean?
meaning that there shouldn't be best actor or actress. Everybody should just be clumped into one thing. I think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
Well, if that's the case, then you wouldn't have two of certain things,
Right?
You'd have one best actor, one best supporting.
Yeah, it would be
one
horrible.
best. Well, there is only one best picture, one best director, one best whatever. But well, I mean, there are
But now they're saying, some people are saying that there should be best female director, best male director. That's ridiculous. You're a director. Again, here we go. We talk about all the time, the labels.
yeah.
Okay, you're a director. What's the difference if you closed your eyes and you didn't see the name at the end of the movie, and I told you it was a girl and it was a guy? Would that make a big difference to you?
It shouldn't make a big difference,
Right.
and the
But
other
it does.
But again,
To some people.
the people who are voting are members of the Academy and only members of the Academy. So they're voting for their peers. So if they're voting based on some type of bias, I will never vote for a woman. I will never vote for a man, just because then there's nothing you can really do about that.
Exactly.
But you can't take away. There are roles that are very specifically gender. The wife, this is a role, a
how you gonna-
subservient woman
Right.
to her husband.
What are you going to say about that?
You can't, you can't really change that. Love stories. If the love story is between a man and a woman, then
Right. How
there's
do
a
you pick?
woman cast in
Right.
that part. I mean, that's the
Right.
way
He might get the best actor for that, playing the role of that part, and she.
Right.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
never gonna
I don't
happen.
agree with that.
It's never going to happen.
I don't agree with that.
That's just stupid.
And to the point about best directors, I think you're segregating it further. I don't know that almost de-equalizes it,
Right. Now
because
you're taking it
saying,
to a
oh,
different
well,
level.
right, I have to be in my own category.
Right. That's just plain stupid. And what if one year there's like one woman director?
Just because that it just so happens that movie
That happens,
right?
and
It can happen.
That happens plenty of times. I mean, do we need more of women doing that? Absolutely. But you can't. I'm just not into the label thing. I know you aren't either.
It makes me
It needs to
crazy.
stop.
I think it makes it worse. I think it makes it harder for people to accomplish things when you have everybody's on edge. Everybody's worried about this. We're just talking real quick, and I have no names or facts, but a female athlete had just got some type of scholarship to play college football, and you and I are both saying, why? Why do you want to do that?
It's crazy.
I just think it's going to change everything for the team. That I just think it changes everything. And I'm not saying that they wouldn't welcome her, but it's
have
not
the
an
locker
equal
room.
playing.
You have the locker room.
Well,
You have
now everybody has to change the rules. Now everything has to be, it's okay
the
to
size
have,
and weight cannot be comparable.
but you know what? It's okay to just have men do certain things, and it's okay to just have women do certain things.
Start a female football.
So now what? Every state, the school has to, when they travel
Accommodate
and they
her, yeah.
travel together, she's going to have to. She can't be in the room with her team. Listen, you've been in female locker rooms. I mean, like in gym class and stuff like that.
Sure.
But there's a lot of conversations. There's a lot of camaraderie that men have. This is their time to be pigs and animals if that's what they want to do.
Talk,
and
yeah.
now they're going to have to wonder. It was bad enough, right, when female reporters were brought in there and suddenly that changed the face. Why are we taking things away?
Well, you know what? She's
to get like
I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't change anything for her. If you want to come play male football, then you have to be part of the guys.
Well, we'll
and
see
if
what
she
happens.
doesn't like
I
it,
don't
she
know
doesn't
how
like
they're
it.
going. I don't know how they're going to handle it.
She can't possibly have her own room every time they travel.
Well, no, and you can't expect you can't expect not to be tackled. And I don't know what her position actually is. Maybe she's a kicker. I really don't know. This happened just before we went on the air, so I didn't get all the facts. We'll get some.
But like
facts.
you said, somebody touches her inappropriately. Is she going to start
She
screaming?
say somebody grabbed my boobs when they thought it was actually that was your.
She better tape them down.
I'm sorry, I thought it was your shoulder pads.
Instead of shoulder pads, you need boob
That's
pads.
what hell are those shoulder pads there, lady? I mean, just
Boy, are your shoulder pads hard.
just is that a cup? I don't know.
There are male cups. Maybe she needs to wear female cups.
Oh my God. I just think that it just opens up things that I'm.
It opens up things. It sure will.
I just don't. I just don't like it. I'm all for equality. I just don't understand why a young lady. Well, I've never understood certain things. I don't understand why any woman who wants to get the shit kicked out of her, whether it be the boxing ring, MMA.
It's ridiculous.
I'm not saying you have to be prissy, but come on.
No, listen. I don't want a 300-pound guy falling on me. Come on.
You might, but not in that way.
Not in the football.
Not
field.
in that way.
No, definitely not in the football.
Not in front of
field.
millions.
If he's
of people.
300 pounds, I probably
you wouldn't want him anyway. Well, it could be muscle.
No, I mean, I don't think I want him falling on me. I'd probably be
squish you.
I'd probably be on the upside.
Squish you like a grape.
That's good. Spit out my seeds.
All right, so that was the good part of the conversation because we I posted something this week about the trash being taken out. Since last week, the whole Jussie Smollett thing has taken a life of its own. Really, the biggest development is that Empire took him off the last two episodes of the season. That doesn't mean they haven't said he's fired.
No,
so I don't know how they're going. He could just not be in them. Not every character is in every episode. So they haven't, I guess, made their ultimate decision. I saw that, what's his name again? Oh, Terrence Howard is standing behind him, which is nice. I mean,
until the facts come out, he said he didn't really say.
Well, I thought a lot of the facts have pretty much come out. I'm not really sure what your defense is going to be at this stage of the game. I don't know. And now,
the new defense. Did you see the new defense?
Well, I thought there was something now that one of these guys is actually his personal trainer, and that the $3,500
is going to his
the memo
training.
on the check said for training.
Okay, instead of saying "come beat the shit out of me, pour bleach all over me," as opposed to that. Now, if I'm writing you out a check and I want you to do something bad, I'm certainly not going to put on there what it's for.
But Lisa, it's just the facts, right? So if the check memo says that's the piece of evidence that's going to be entered.
Well, what about all the text messages?
Oh, I don't know. I'm just saying that one particular. Yeah. So I don't really know. The bottom line is, for many people, his reputation is ruined.
Of course,
and it's ruined because he took such a sensitive, difficult, two issues: racism and homophobia. He put them all together in a nice little package. There's real cases of that in this day and age, and you don't play with stuff like that.
No,
you just don't play with that.
And did you see the interview with him when he really dogged? And speaking of a black man that's, he's gay, Lee Daniels. I mean, he dogged him so bad in a prior interview that I can't believe that Lee Daniels is standing by him, because he said, something to the effect where how much money Empire is making. He quoted some price of $100 million or something, and I'm only getting paid $65,000 to $100,000
You know
an
what?
episode.
Then quit the show.
Exactly.
Quit the show.
Go get
another job.
Go
get another job. Listen, it's a free country. End your contract,
right?
And get. And what about all the women? And when women don't get equal pay or whatever, they don't stage. They don't stage
send letters to yourself.
And right. They don't put aspirin. And get themselves beat up, and they don't stage things. I mean, come on with this crap, you
I just don't know
whiny.
how he's going to. I don't really know with the defense, like you said. I don't know what it's going to be.
Well, it's turned me off, and I have to really be honest. And I've already said it, so it's out there on It's out there on
In the
audio
universe.
that I really have been turned off by the show because
Yeah,
I just, after a while, there's only so much of the same push pull.
We own Empire. We don't own Empire.
Cookie loves me. Cookie doesn't
Right,
love me.
exactly.
The
It's
sister
getting boring
sister
anyway.
likes her. The sister doesn't like her. This one, everybody's gotten shot once already now. So now that I don't
everybody's
know.
got a bullet hole in them. In that
Yeah,
show.
I mean, come on. Like, so
Seriously.
after a while, but I do think for many people, the entire show will be punished over this.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they haven't really taken enough of a stand in
No,
many
they
people's
haven't at
lives.
all.
Taking him off for 2 episodes ends this season. You need to fire his ass.
Mm-hmm. Well,
You-
Roseanne
you-
Barr.
I know you were gonna- I knew-
Megan Kelly. I mean, the list goes on, But again, here we go. And I'm not labeling anybody, but these are white women. If this had ever been, and I talked about this with you off air, if this had ever been a white person that staged a racist attack like this, holy hell would have broke loose. The streets would have been flooded with protesters. Buildings would have been on fire. You know it and I know it. Okay. But once again, because we're civil, we sit back and we're just like, okay, let's let the facts play out.
Well, here's the thing, though: the two perpetrators, alleged perpetrators, are not white.
No,
they're black.
Exactly.
So I don't even know where how in any way, shape, or form that's racist.
Right.
I mean, now that it's come out, if you were really going to try to make
Exactly.
it a real racist, you should have had somebody at least not black.
There's a great video on Facebook right now where there are 3 black guys. One plays him, and the other 2, and he's teaching them how. He goes, okay, now pour the bleach on me, and he smacks me. He's like, you didn't do it right. Now put the noose around my neck the right
geez,
way.
no,
Yeah, they
I won't
actually
even.
3 black guys actually played out this whole thing.
Well, you know what? I see that doesn't interest me either. I don't think that we should even in mockery.
all over Facebook. Yeah,
it's just
They're
it's
out
just
of
too much
control.
for me.
It's out of control.
Yeah, see, I'm just not a fan of any of this, but I don't really think that I'm going to be as concerned about Empire. Now, this week we have, I think, 4 or 5 episodes left, or 6 episodes left of This Is Us.
Right.
Which, by the way, did you hear they're supposedly only going to season 6?
Really? No, I didn't
As
hear
of
that.
now, it's a 6-season show.
Oh my god! I got to tell you one thing. Speaking of shows, I think you know what I'm going to say. A million little things. I mean,
getting slow.
I love this
I know
show.
you do.
But you know what? I'm beginning to think that the writers don't know where they want to go with this show.
So they're keeping it stalled. Like,
Yeah, because I mean, there's every Thursday night is a complete stall, and I'm like getting really pissed at it, and especially since there's only one show left.
This is the season finale. Well, now that they know that they're
like
been
losing
renewed-
my interest.
Well, I'm wondering if now that we talked about this too, like, are they saving some of it for next season now? Because
Yeah, but you have to put a little juice.
you have to
somewhere.
put a little juice in. I was really upset to find out that Friends from College, which is 2 seasons on Netflix, is not renewed.
Oh no!
No, and I can't believe it. It's such a fabulous show. Natalie Morales and Kid Hoover on Hollywood. What's that called? Is that Access?
Access
Is that
Hollywood.
Access Hollywood? They're like up in arms because it's such a great show. I can't for the life of me figure out. The characters are so good. There was such a great cliffhanger. I think they thought they were going to be renewed. Such a great cliffhanger at the end. Like, I don't want to say, but I would still watch it. People should still watch it because at the very least, it's a good entertainment, for the weekend.
I haven't watched it.
Watch it. I think you would enjoy it. It
I'm
kind of
waiting
makes
for you to come back.
I think it kind of makes you.
I can't wait for that one.
Told you that was another good one.
Yeah,
There's quite
that
a
was
few
good
out there. I haven't had much opportunity to watch the Today Show in the mornings, but I understand that
Yes.
Kathy Lee and Hoda have decided on their next victim.
Right. Completely.
What do you think, Jenna Bush Hager?
Well, I mean, it was kind of a no-brainer. We all kind of knew that, right? I mean, she is I like her. I really enjoy watching her. I think she's the bubbly young, version of
Not
the
that young.
two
She's
of them.
pushing 40. She's in her late
Yeah,
30s.
but I mean,
no,
like,
but she is. And Hoda's what, in her mid-50s, right? 54, 55?
Well, she looks a hell of a lot younger than Hoda, that's for sure.
Yeah, but I think, interestingly enough, because Hoda started so late, Haley Joe is what, 2? I think she just celebrated her 2nd birthday. And I think Poppy, is it Poppy or Mila, the second one? Mila's the first one, Poppy's the second one? I forget them.
I think Poppy's
I think she's right around the same age. So technically they have kids
Right.
like close in age. I think she was the
I
logical
gotta tell you,
choice.
Kathy Lee is frightening me lately.
Very skinny.
What her right arm is just like it's like a toothpick,
She claims that she works out and she's happy.
but
and
it's not
she's-
even defined as like Kelly Ripa is really thin like that. But you see the definition in the muscle.
Yeah.
You don't see anything on Kathy Lee.
Oh, I thought she had good arms for a while there. I thought
No,
she
but
was doing her
today.
her
Her arm was like a complete, Like seriously, like this pen,
I certainly hope that she's
and it's thinner than the left arm.
I certainly hope that she's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
she says that she seems very happy. She seems very joyful.
So skinny for me,
but she's very thin. Her legs look like toothpicks.
Yeah.
But that's her choice. I wish her the best of luck. I mean, I know that they've been running some shows. They had 55 years of her.
Mm-hmm.
And like this whole thing is going to be the longest goodbye on television.
really
Like,
is.
let us cut the crap already.
Exactly.
Just be done with this. But so when does she officially take over?
April, right?
Is it
Yeah,
when
it
she
is.
leaves? Well, yeah, at the 11th, and do we know her salary for this? 'Cause I have to know.
No, we don't. I'm sure it's.
But it'll be all over the place.
I'm
right?
sure. I'm sure we'll hear about it soon.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, and I could be wrong, Kathy, Hoda, and Savannah are $8 million each, I believe, for the Today Show.
Right.
I don't know, and
Which I can't believe it's that low.
I
Actually.
can't either, considering what Matt
Yeah,
Lauer was getting. And
because there are a lot of them get.
And once he left, it should, But now, of course, the show is different. I've seen Savannah; she's been doing the nightly news while Lester's traveling, and she's fabulous at it. She's a much better journalist.
Well, she's a journalist, I
and
mean,
but she has enough personality. I'm so over Hoda. I got to be honest and tell you, I can't help it. I don't want to feel that way because I don't want this to happen, but it's happening. What? Well, let's see what happens. I would like to think that certain things are sacred between her and Kathy Lee, but they're not because she tries to be. You can't be best buddies. You can have more than one bestie. I get that.
Of course.
But, you have your little thing with this one and then you have your little thing with that one. And more than anything that drives me crazy, while someone is talking, like they're doing a segment, she's like, yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, she does it all the time.
How many times does she say yeah in a segment?
And moves her hair.
Oh, the hair.
Yeah.
Put
She's
her on
worse than me.
I think they need to put her on the other side of the table though, because that's the
Yes.
camera angle that
Her
is
hair
always
covers
in
her
her
face.
So
Yeah.
so either fix her hair,
Right.
or move her to the other side.
Yeah,
now
'cause
that
you can't see her face.
Jenna's coming on.
Right.
Okay. But the yeah thing. Yeah.
Yeah, she does all the time.
Don't you think that someone should correct her?
You would think so, especially at $8 million a year.
She's doing it on 2 shows.
Yeah, I know.
It's so annoying.
Yeah, it is.
Gotcha. All right, so we've covered that, and then, well, here is this story of all stories. This is an
Unbelievable.
Well, actually, let's think about this for a moment. There are no fashion faux pas this week. Nobody made anything that has a gun with it. It comes with a gun attached to it, or some weapon of mass destruction.
Nobody did anything. Nobody
offended anybody.
Put any grenades around their neck.
There's Fendi didn't offend anybody.
I haven't heard anything yet.
Okay.
But the week is not out.
Well, this is for us. This is our full
It's just
week.
beginning now.
But it's just okay. So then let's just jump to our the
Sleaze?
trash.
Sleaze? Go ahead.
I just
Let it rip.
Sucks to be you right now.
That's all I.
Sucks
can
to
say.
be a lot of
Sucks
people
to
right
be
now.
you right now. Well, we have 2 sleaze balls.
Yes, we sure do.
So let's do the first one. We'll go with the age first.
Age before sleaze.
Sleaze, yeah. So as everybody by now, unless you live under a rock, and of course this may
Unless
be a
you live
little
under
dated for
football.
people. Yeah. Well, this is Inflategate, I
Yeah.
think, or is this Deflategate of a totally different nature?
It could be inflated first,
to
and then
be
it goes
deflated.
deflated. Yeah.
But as everybody by now knows, that the owner of the New England Patriots, the most beloved, hated team on the planet,
Seriously.
Robert Kraft is now officially arrested and charged with solicitation, intent to have someone solicitation for prostitution. Something. I had it written down like the actual term. He seems to frequent this day spa. Actually, twice apparently that he was there. 2 days in a row
That they know of.
2 days in a row. Good for you, Mr. 77-year-old.
Yeah, really.
And the day of the playoffs.
I know,
think
right?
is so
Seriously.
funny. He goes in there for a quickie, but
15 minutes. That sure is a quickie.
10 minute.
What do I get for $10?
$10 15-minute. And this is the thing that's really sad, and this is the part that's really upsetting, is that this is a bigger story, honestly, and I don't think that he or any of the other men, and there have
Probably
been
not,
quite a
right.
few men that have been involved. This is a major sting operation going on in Florida. Because
Jupiter, Florida, right?
he's not the only high profile case that's been going on in this thing. So this day spa has these women
In a strip mall in Jupiter, Florida.
right,
Seriously? Come on.
who it's the Orchards of Asia Day Spa, orchids, not orchards, orchids.
Delicious orchids.
Oh my God!
What do you
Well, these
call
are
it?
delicious orchids,
Exactly.
and this really involves the bigger picture here is human trafficking.
Yeah, that's where it gets dicey, because going out and paying for sex is one thing, but when these women are actually being trafficked, and also they're living in this day spa
In disgusting,
like animals.
yeah, disgusting,
you know,
deplorable conditions.
That's the heartbreaking part about
And
it.
so it becomes a bigger deal in
Right.
that sense, and that's apparently why the authorities had the search warrant or the warrant to be able to put cameras in.
Yeah, because when I first
Yeah,
heard
you
it, I'm like,
can't
how could they record people doing this?
Well, the thing about something like you make that statement, right? But you have to wonder to yourself, and we live in this weird society now. Like when you think about it, you have no idea
Not
when
doing
you go.
anything,
When you go,
but-
I'm gonna say when you go to a place like like of ill repute, you have no idea if you're being filmed by the people there.
Sure.
You know
Because how much
that
money
jar
makes them?
jar of lotion over there
Yeah,
could
a little camera.
actually be a camera that
They
somehow
have,
could
they
be
have camera pens.
yeah,
now.
but it could be used. It could be used against you as even blackmail. If
Sure.
if you think about it. So it's really just a stupid thing to do in
really is.
general, and then to find out. So not only is it embarrassing, but to find out that there's a bigger investigation, the human trafficking thing, and I'm sure none of these gentlemen that are involved are interested
No.
in that in any way, shape, or form. But in watching the press conference, the original press conference with the sheriff, it was disgusting to me how aggressive the reporters were. All they wanted to know was it Kraft? Isn't he the guy?
Yeah, kept bringing up his name,
They kept bringing
right.
up his name, right? They kept making
And the Patriots. They kept
wanting
bringing
him
up
to
the
say it.
Patriots.
They kept asking about the driver. They kept asking all these ridiculous questions about.
Instead of how about the concern about the women that were in there,
Exactly.
or how this started, or who was running it, and that's the media, and that's why everybody hates the media today.
Well, because they pick and it's like they pick and they choose exactly
Right.
who it is that they want. And the thing is if and I'm not saying that there's any beloved coach, any beloved owners, but I feel like the Patriots, and I'm not saying it's not their own fault for things that have happened, but they do seem to be a target. And
always.
so just I just feel like in the interest of justice, we should. There are some other names out there.
Oh yes,
So
Some
I'm not
bigwigs.
familiar with them. But
in the financial world,
we have John Childs, the founder of private equity firm J.W. Childs and Associates. Okay, for somebody that might mean something.
multi-billionaire.
All right. John Havens, former CFO of Citigroup. I think we all know of Citigroup. And then it turns out that Johnny Del Prete,
This one floors me.
longtime boyfriend of star LPGA golfer Jessica
He's also
Korda,
her caddy.
was arrested in Stuart, Florida. This is more than just this one spot. This is really a sting operation.
They're all over.
We're going to see what's going to happen. The thing is that people obviously deny everything, and because
Look,
that's
they
what
don't call it the Sunshine State for nothing, Fran. Okay.
2 days in a row. Go, Bob. I mean, the thing is, you and I were talking about this too. I got to be honest and say, I could care less if you pay for sex, and I mean that.
It doesn't bother
I
me.
really don't care, and I think that you can probably find yourself, but when you find yourself like a better place, apparently this place is gross. It's
It
not
sounds
even like a
really
nice.
it sounds really sleazy and gross inside.
And the-
I know where it is, and it's not even a nice strip mall.
But
Never mind
but-
the place.
So the only thing we can assume is that he was in his Bentley. His Bentley's been seen there, and all these other cars that are other Bentleys and other cars, and they're listing some of these exotic cars, right?
Right.
Now, you don't think that draws attention?
Well,
anyway, to the fact that you're telling me it's a crappy little
in front of that. But in Jupiter, that's all you see anyway. So
Okay.
people go into Publix, but that's all you see is Bentleys and Ferraris and everything around. So
my kind of town.
yeah, it's definitely a nice town.
But all right, so if that's not necessarily the issue, but to see those types of men going into that type of
Right.
establishment,
You would picture not to judge, but you'd picture somebody else.
you
going in
own the New England Patriots. Correct me if I'm wrong, that you probably have access to some of the greatest orthopedics, massage, acupuncture, chiropractic
going in for a massage.
services in the world. Right?
there. Yes, they don't give BJ's.
Yeah, they're happy ending. We don't know exactly what the service was, but we can assume that's.
Well, if it
probably-
took 15 minutes, I don't know.
well, he's old
This is
and
true.
he had to get undressed, hug the girl. There's a whole description of what he did.
Yeah.
He walked in, hugged the girl like he knew her, got undressed, laid on the table. whatever sex act, gave her $100 and something else that they can't tell.
At his age, they can take 15 minutes to get undressed.
I just think it's, you know what, good for him. And the thing is, he's a single guy. He's not married.
No,
His
he's
wife,
not
he
married.
was married for a very long time. His wife passed away. God rest her soul. And you know what, if this is what he feels he needs to do, then, but I just think, unfortunately he picked a place where there's a bigger story here. But as far as, and I made this statement also once before, don't men basically pay for sex their whole lives anyway?
They pay for it through the nose their whole life, and they don't even realize it.
If you're married, if you're
still
single,
paying
if
for
you're
it.
dating,
Exactly.
if you're keeping someone, if you're helping someone.
If you have a gumad, a mistress on the side, you're paying for her.
I mean, come on. Let's be real here. I think if an enterprising young woman or old woman or any person, I think you said this also. It's your body.
That's right.
As long as you are in control of the situation and it is 100% your choice.
Right. If I want to sell my body, don't tell me I can't.
Remember that Heidi Fleiss?
Heidi Fleiss.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Those women weren't trafficked.
They weren't coerced.
Slaved.
They wanted to do it. They wanted to make a living at it.
They wanted to make a living.
And they made a damn good living.
I mean, look at when Cardi B talks about being proud that she was a stripper, right? She's not ashamed of dancing and taking.
No,
off
some of those strippers have put themselves through law school.
For God's
Absolutely.
sakes. I mean, I just don't think that. I think we make a bigger deal. That's another one of those, to me, crimes that, again, not the human trafficking part of it. Don't get me wrong, but to me, I just think that if this is something think of all the arrests that wouldn't be made. Think of all the the time wasted on something like somebody wants to go get laid. Big deal.
Who cares?
Let them go.
Really?
You've got people murdering people. You've got people beating people up and dismembering people.
Well, only last week, there was 5 people who killed their parents and their mothers.
Oh my God!
And they're worried about some guy getting whatever he's getting in this massage parlor. Yeah. I mean, the priorities in this country are so screwed up. They really are.
I definitely don't. I definitely don't think that we should. We definitely take care of certain things. It's only a misdemeanor anyway.
Really, it's like, so why make this big deal about it?
Well, because
well, the human trafficking part is the scary part.
And here's the other side of it: the NFL has a conduct of standards.
Yes.
Standards of conduct.
I'm
saying it backwards.
You could still get in trouble.
So if you're going to hold your players, and you should, to a certain level of behavior and conduct, and obviously the owners, and they were talking about other owners that have been suspended for games, fined for DUIs, for different things. So unfortunately, he's definitely. And if this was
a player, you would hear about him being suspended already.
Yeah, you definitely would. But listen, when you're, what are you going to say when people are watching your every move, mm-hmm. and you are in the limelight? You got to be careful, dude.
Oh yeah.
I think by now he'd learned his lesson. He has a girlfriend on and off or something, but maybe she's over it.
Maybe she could care less. But you know what? He's worth several $1 billion, so I'm sure she could really give a shit if he goes out.
And here's the other side of some of this too. Maybe the other side of celebrity, if you will. We want to put him in the celebrity category. These women, sadly, because most of them don't even speak English. But aside from the human trafficking side of it, they're not kissing and telling.
No,
they're not asking for anything more than the service. I mean, people out there.
But these poor girls probably just want to get fed.
Oh, it's horrible. It's horrible. No, but I mean, you think about it. A lot of times these guys date somebody. Mm-hmm. You never know. You turn around, you sleep with a woman. A woman sleeps with you because she wants to sleep with you, and then the next day you're in the news because you attacked her or you did something wasn't consensual. Really, it's taking all the fun out of dating. Mm-hmm. Because you just never know. So you go to a place like this, not this place, but you go to you don't have to worry about that crap.
Absolutely not.
It's a business transaction, and nobody's gonna. Well, now your name is in the news, but
yeah.
But I mean, nobody's gonna come after you and say, "Oh, he touched me," and I didn't say yes.
It also sucks to be somebody else this week too. Finally, after a very long time.
Actually, you know what? This guy is such a fucking scumbag.
He's a predator.
I can't. I watched some of the R. Kelly stuff, and I got a little tired. I think we talked about this earlier. I got tired of listening to some of these girls whining. Like, what were you thinking? I mean, I don't know why is it going to stick this time any more than any other time, but this time at least he seems to have.
It's been going on for years.
Years
and years.
This is ridiculous. I
mean, back in the I was so upset when Aaliyah agreed to marry him. I was like, are you kidding me? And she was young then too.
Yeah. And that might have been that might have been the way of covering some things up, but I think she I'm sure some of these girls genuinely loved him. I mean, this is abuses so he's facing 10 counts of aggravated sexual abuse with 4 alleged victims, including 3 underage girls. And let's see. The alleged abuse took place between September 1998 and 2010. How many years is that?
Too long.
How many years is that?
Too many.
Okay. And what year is it? I mean, that's the other side of it too. And I'm not saying that I don't know how I feel about a statute of limitations, to be honest with you. People have been trying and trying and trying, and he's like Teflon. It just keeps sliding off of him. Stay away from him.
You know the guy's reputation already. Everybody knows it. You're not going to be the one. Like we talked about before, you're not going to be the next. You're not going to be
big
his,
thing or whatever.
His aha moment. Oh, I'm going to stop doing this now. I found her,
and I'm going to make you a star. I mean, has he really done anything for any of these women that he?
No.
And honestly, is that even the promise of being taken under his wing?
No. And what's sad is that they keep pulling in LL Cool J with him.
Why?
Well, because he hung around with him a lot back then. But LL had nothing to do with any of the stuff. And Gloria Allred, who holds up the picture today. She holds up the picture of poor LL and two girls.
I can't stand
She held up the wrong picture. So now this poor guy's name is like
I can't
all over everybody's mouth today.
I can't stand him and her
or her daughter.
And I have to tell you, Avenatti is
oh my God. Of all the lawyers, seriously.
Okay. And in this case, it might actually be something real. Supposedly there's videotape. Supposedly there's all of this stuff. All I know is that I am really tired of the thug life, that whole thing. We put these people who do not deserve to be put on pedestals. We put them on pedestals. We let them get away with behaviors that are disgusting, despicable, degrading to women. Now, and I'm not going to say that any of the other things that happened with Matt Lauer or Les Moonves, I'm not saying they're not fire-worthy or they're not ruin somebody's life worthy kind of thing. But what this guy has done, I mean, you're talking about abuses of power with grown-ass women, though, right? Who may have felt pressure,
but with underage
but
girls.
This is different. This is a difference. How is he still standing?
I don't know. And but like I said, it's been going on for years, and every time the subject gets brought up, he's gotten away with it.
I know. I don't understand how he slips through it. So maybe this guy Avenatti will actually. I mean, look what he did for Stormy Daniels.
Where is Stormy Daniels?
I have no idea.
Is she working at the Jupiter Day Spa?
I don't. The orchards
at Delicious Orchards.
She's actually in the orchards. This is orchids.
Maybe she's at Delicious Orchards in Cold Snack. Who knows?
Well, what do you think? We titled the show "You Can't Make This Shit Up," and I think we've covered the gamut.
Pretty
here.
much everything.
All right then. So what do you think?
I think we need to go out there
and make shift happen.
Thanks for listening, shifters. Join us next time as we spotlight the latest in exclusive restaurants, shopping, fashion, nightlife, entertainment, and the people who make shift happen.